Alright, so here we are. We're going to be doing a split on a beehive that we have had out here for probably a good 2 years. You know, we've already split them a couple of times, and they do really well when you're taking them apart like that. Keeps them calm because we keep them small. These are Africanized honeybees that we did catch in the city of Tucson. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking this apart. We're going to make 2 hives out of 1. This is how beekeepers are the silent heroes out there, because most of the guys are doing a pollination. They make a bunch of hives out of 1 hive by doing basically the scientific biology process of making bees do what they're supposed to do with biology. So we're going to take this one apart, and I'll show you the inner workings of a hive. It's nice and cool today, so the bees are all mainly inside. Yes, we use crowbars because these are manipulation tools for getting these lids open. But there's a full box of bees. And these are, remember, Africanized honeybees, so it doesn't take very much to provoke them, but they do respond really well to smoke. We're going to just smoke these bees down to the bottom box, just because I want them to run out of this thing a little bit while I'm working through the brood and finding queen cells or anything else that's there. Early, it was a cold evening for them, they're not happy. What we're going to do is we're going to pull the frame out of here, hopefully without smushing too much stuff. These bees have got it jam-packed. That's a big old honey frame right there. Last season's honey, so what we'll do is we'll just take this thing apart. You see how pissed off the bees are getting now? They don't take kindly to people being in their hives. So the difference between a European bee and an Africanized bee is this: they try to, well, basically kill you.
They're pissed.
What do you think, Jake? They're pissed.
Yeah, they're pissed.
This is the reason why we split them, though, so that way we can break them down and actually make them into a nicer hive. We can actually get a lot of stuff that breaks them down, but as you can see, right here, what we have is we have a fully finished queen cell. Now, at this time of year, this is exactly what we're looking for. Now, we got to be super careful with it because we don't want these bees to get this injured, because this is the lifeline. And as you can see, there's a bunch of eggs in this area where mama's already laid a bunch of pollen, and this is just the inner workings of a hive. You got some drones, and so what we're going to do is we're going to break this hive apart and try to find the queen, so that way we can make sure she's in one box and her queen cells in the other, so that way they both have a queen. So let's go ahead and drop this back in here real quick, and we'll grab another box. We're going to take this frame right here, since it's got a queen cell on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look and see if she's anywhere on here, which it doesn't look like it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start sliding these frames into here. So we've already got a honey frame. We know they're going to want food, so we're going to put a honey frame back in here for them. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bunch of brood out of this box and leave a bunch of brood in the other box. The queen will stay here, the queen cell will go here, and then we'll move this to a different yard site. But for right now, there's a bunch of bees on here, so we'll just shake them into this box. And then they'll start crawling all over those frames. Now we're on the hunt, because we've got 2 boxes to go through to try to find mama. And she's going to be in here somewhere, so probably along with more queen cells, drone cells, and everything else that we can show you guys. anybody that thinks beekeeping's an easy job, you should come out and work with us. So now here's a frame that has a bunch of eggs, a bunch of brood, but they didn't build in the middle. This is another good reason to actually take and redo these hives, just because obviously the spacing was wrong for these ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean up these hives too at the same time. Most of the stuff on the bottom is all going to be drones. So what we'll do is we'll just basically move bees off of them, trying to keep them as calm as possible. And then we kind of clean these frames up by just scraping all the bad stuff off of it. We don't want any of that stuff, so we'll get in here. Anything that you can see that's going to be popped out weird, we just get rid of those things. We don't want them, we don't need them. We don't want this hive to be unmanaged like that. So now that it's a nice flat frame, hopefully what they'll do is they'll build off of that frame and be super cautious with it. But being the fact that it has a hollow spot in it, we're going to use it for right now to cover up that queen cell so we don't smash her. So now she's in a nice secure little area and we don't have to worry about hurting her.
Okay.
So this right here is yet another frame, and I can see the bees are obviously irritated. They're running all over the place. They don't like what we're doing to them here. You can see there's some brood on here, but the open frame again. And on this side, we have no idea what these bees are doing. This poses a challenge for us because they can get in behind it. Now, queens like to hide. I don't think she's going to be hiding in there, but we do have yet another queen cell that's starting right here. And on the inside, I can see that they've already produced a lot of food, the royal jellies, to put inside of there with her. So this is a frame that just is ugly. They built weird. So they don't have anything on one side, but on the other side they do. It's amazing. But you can see all the drones, the male bees, actually coming out. These are brand new babies that are emerging out to come out and do their breeding job. So once this hatches, these guys right here will take advantage of it. Now, another thing people say is Africanized honeybees don't get mites, but this drone right here has a mite on the outside edge of it. There's a varroa mite right there. Now that's one of the leading causes of problems when it comes down to hives. That varroa mite is not fully formed, and that's where they breed at, is inside of the drone cells. That varroa mite's not fully formed, so these workers are probably going to end up chewing that right off of them and make sure that they don't have to worry about any kind of varroa problems. So what we'll do though is, because this has got another queen cell in it, we don't want that queen cell, but we're going to take that queen cell out of there. We don't need it. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look and see if I can find out if there's any queens in here. I don't think she's in here though. She's probably down in the bottom box, but we'll find her.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, due to the amount of bees in that hive, you can see it's kind of hard to find one particular bee when you have that many bees inside of a hive. So we weren't able to find her on this one. We're going to keep trying so we can find one for you guys. We know she's in there. If she's not, it's okay too, because as you've seen by the queen cells, they'll make their own. So we got another open hive, and there's only 2 hives that we've been through so far. You can see how mad the bees are. Hopefully you guys can hear me over all the buzzing. But this right here is a honey box. It's a medium super. So when you guys buy honey from us and you guys are supporting the local beekeeper, I stress that, support the local beekeeper, Life Sweet Honey Farms. When you're buying honey from us, this is the stuff that we put in jars. This is the bees that are making it. And this is as raw as it gets. So, best honey you can get comes from our bees. And this is some great stuff right here. But they've got all this brand new nectar. You can see they're already producing nectar. None of our big nectar producing plants have actually started, so it's all ground flowers. Mainly ground flowers. I don't know what else they're getting into, but there's some different colors in here, so you can see the differences in colors in here. A lot of people ask, when you're doing honey, why is some of it clear, yellow, some of it's a little darker? Well, here in this right here, you can see that there's darker honey in here. That's either from age or something they're getting into. So if you ever see a darker jar of honey, don't worry about it. It's not necessarily always cooked. It's just, it's bees doing their job. So you can get mesquite honey that's a little darker, but mainly it's all desert blend. But you can go through this hive here, and this thing has just got tons of honey in it, but it's also very, very angry. But these are the bees that we work with every day, and this is what we do on a regular basis when we're actually doing removals, is working with Africanized honeybees. So you can see that we really don't care that they're buzzing around us. And you can see that, look at that. That's just pretty honey right there. This will end up in a jar this year. Some local individual or whoever will end up with that beautiful honey in a jar. But let's go ahead and break this hive down, because these girls need a little attention, and it's actually some well-needed attention due to the fact that they are grumpy. So we're going to break this off with a queen excluder and get this box off, because it's, now that's a good 50 pounds. So as you can tell,
Your phone case got stung.
huh?
Your phone case got stung.
It got stung?
Yep.
Nice. These bees right here are super aggressive, and this is one of the main reasons why we're breaking them down. Later in the season here, we're going to work with a few of our beekeepers to get these bees knocked down. We're going to actually change out their queens, so that way they can start being a little nicer to us. These are Africanized honeybees at their finest right here. It's a queen excluder. They basically seal it up how they feel it. And here's another inner workings of a hive. Looks like it's going to be a good side to start on over there. So I'll switch places with Jake. My brave little soldier here that's only been doing bees for a year, and look at him, he don't care. He's probably been stung a couple of times too, and I really haven't heard a word out of him. What is that? Hashtag Jake is awesome. You can see all this old honey right here. This is the honey that the bees usually use up during the winter time. You can see the empty cells, and you know, and then they're starting to fill it up again. So yeah, this is all new stuff. You see all that glistening nectar right there. That's going to be all good stuff here this year that we'll leave on these bees, because it's going to detox. So we want to leave these bees with a lot of food, so that way they we don't give them anything non-natural. We don't want to give them any kind of high fructose corn syrup or anything like that they can store inside that honey. But this hive is huge too. You can see all this stuff right here is all old. But they'll reliquefy it and they'll use it up. They'll use it for everything. So they don't seem to mind. That's the honey that nobody gets. That's their selective reserve. We only get the stuff they put in the top boxes. And that's if they're nice enough to give us some. But it seems like they're not nice at all. Now here we go, we're starting to get into some more drone cells. So these drone cells right here, there's the drones. And we're looking for mama. We're trying not to disrupt this hive with the smoke as much, so that way we can find her. The last one, I think I might have smoked it down a little too much, and she ran into a big pile of bees. And kind of made it hard to get it. So okay. And see there. This is a perfect example of a honeybee hive, and Africanized honeybees that love to swarm. I mean, this is all the stuff that's going on in the inner workings of the hives in town too. Every one of these is a queen cell. Every one of those is a queen. Now, If we can try to get this thing flipped up, you're going to see that some of these have holes in them. And you might be able to actually see inside of those. Oh, there's a good one right here. And it's got a bunch of white goo in it. That's the inner makings of a queen right there. So that's all queen cells right there. These bees are just looking to swarm. I mean, that's every one of those queen cells could be potentially a queen swarming with a bunch of bees. Because if you look, this one's empty, this one's full. You know, they've already got that cap. She's already tended to, she's tended to, she's tended to. All these ones are good to go, but this one's open, that one's open, and that one's open. So they're going to be doing multiple swarms this year. So we'll be super careful with this frame because those queens are kind of valuable when we're doing our splits. So what we'll do is we'll set that down in the same direction that they had it, because we don't want to interrupt their growing process and their gestation.
6 times your phone has been stung.
6 times my phone has been stung. Why are they stinging my phone? Because they're Africanized honeybees. They don't work. The sacrifice that these bees will make when you pinch them, they'll sting right through your gloves. There's so many things that they can do. And alright guys, so the queen is on this frame. So there's a whole bunch of queen cells and stuff all through this hive.
There she is.
And basically all you're going to do is basically look at her in the sunshine. She's right here. So if everybody wants to know what a queen looks like and how hard it is to find her, there she is right there. That's our big beautiful queen. That's the one that's creating all this all these chaotic bees. So there she is right there. That's our queen. That's our egg layer. But just for you guys that wanted to see her, there she is. She laid all these eggs and all these babies and all these bees. So we'll put her right back in her hive. And what we'll do is we'll stick a couple of open frames in here, so that way they have more space to build. So we actually took this hive and we split it into 3 different hives. Because it was so large, had so many bees in it, we now actually can get 3 hives out of this with all those queen cells. So that's how we reproduce bees. That's how we do splits. These ones are easy because they already had their queen cells in there. So I don't have to put a queen cell in. I don't have to do anything like that. But as you can tell, we need to work through this yard pretty fast because these bees are trying to kill us. Africanized honeybee removals, Bee Bustin LLC. You guys want fresh, raw, organic honey, you call it and you contact us at Life Sweet Honey Farms. That's also Bee Bustin LLC. But as for that, you guys have a great day. Looks like we're going to get stung a bunch more today.